Alright, hopping into another Marvel Snap deck highlight. We are actually not highlighting Diamondback, contrary to what it may look like on the screen. She is in the caches this week, or you can purchase her for tokens. She is a 3/3 with the ongoing effect. Enemy cards here are afflicted with negative power. Enemy cards that are afflicted with negative power have an additional -2 power. So she is likely to find a home in affliction decks, the standard high evo stuff that runs hazmat and the like. What's neat about her is it specifies enemy cards, so it will not hit your side of the board. While she would be pretty good in a lot of negative decks, just that additional minus power is quite nice. Theoretically, at worst, she is a 3/5 if you are only hitting one card. At best, she could be up to a 3/11. That's assuming nothing to double the ongoing effects like an Onslaught. That is just a straight up, they have 4 negative cards, and you have her played on your side of the lane. If I personally were making a deck with her, I would go with the ongoing type of deck, either a Spectrum deck or a Onslaught deck, maybe both. There are a lot of ongoing cards that pair nicely. US Agent and Man-Thing both apply a negative power that she can benefit from. You have cards like Luke Cage and like Colossus, which will not be hit by negative power on your side, will help prevent the Man-Thing or the US Agent from hurting you too much. And you have Ajax, who is a very big card in a lot of affliction decks, also an ongoing card. That might be a horrible deck, who knows? That's just what I would run it in. Now that we have Diamondback out of the way, I'm going to be playing a couple games in Sanctum Showdown. This is the new mode today. As you were watching this, this is the new mode yesterday. Basically, the idea is each lane that you are winning grants you X number of points at the end of the turn. 16 points to win. That's pretty much it. I don't really read instructions, because where's the fun in that? I will say, however, if you look through the list of banned cards, a lot of them are location control, or very large cards. M'Baku, honestly, I don't know why they bothered banning him. He is just bad. He only hops onto the field at the end of the game, and at that point, one of you has already won. Magic, again, not really sure why she was banned. The game doesn't have turns. You go from turn 1 to turn somebody 1. So if you are tied for 15 turns, it'll be a 15-turn game. There is no end, just keeps going. Malekith, again, only happens at the end of the game. Kind of worthless. Mysterio only happens at the end of the game. Supergiant at the end of the game. Basically, anything that has an effect that only works at the end of the game is banned, because it wouldn't really work anyway. I don't know why people would be playing it anyway. There are also location control, there's Storm, there's Quake, things like Juggernaut to move you out of a lane, things like Galactus leaving only one lane there. There's also Clog, Debris, both goblins are removed, along with Annihilus, which is another very popular Clog card. Kang, who is just a bad card, so there's that. Dracula, again, only works at the end of the game. And Martyr. Martyr is one, probably the only card on this list that I was seriously considering putting in a deck. She's a 1/5, and her downside is only matters at the end of the game, so again, does not really have an effect. That's probably why they banned her, because that's just like the strongest card you can play on turn 1. So yeah, all the banned cards. Otherwise, generally, you want to make a deck that gets wide early, or a deck that you can easily move power around. So I put together a deck that is going to hopefully force our opponent into a lane he doesn't want to play into. That's the point of the Jean Grey. We can then stack that with a Rocket and Groot, meaning that there's just a lot of negative power in that lane. White Widow, I'm a particular fan of because she's effectively a 2/6. So short of Star-Lord, you're not really blocking that. And this is where the fun begins, because the only lane we're going to play into from now on is Necrosha. Yikes. Yeah, Legion is one of the notable location control cards that's not banned. The other one being... what's her face? I can't think of her name. Scarlet Witch. So those two cards are not banned. That's a huge hit. Oh man, I'd like to say that was intentional, but I was just trying to slap something there. This is nice. So it's very difficult to get out of this. The decks I think will be good here. I just kind of slapped together some stuff. But the decks I think will actually do well are low-cost ongoing decks. Things that make good use of Moonstone. Mr. Fantastic, I think, is a very strong card because it allows you to get decent power wide. I also think bounce decks will be very good because you can play a lot of cards early. Your cards, you can play them at the locations that are relevant, and they still keep up if we get too many turns in. I will say it's also a neat note that the music is different than it normally is. If you don't have the music turned up normally, I normally don't have the music turned up, maybe just turn it up a little bit for get a little nice techno beat thing going. So as we are looking at the lanes, you can see on the top the number of cubes that is worth. So winning Sewer System will net 4 cubes, which is pretty neat. Each other lane will only net you 1. And that Sanctum location that gives you 4 cubes moves around each turn. Raft. So now it's over here in Onslaught's Citadel. We're going to throw Nebula somewhere and Jean Grey somewhere else. They're going to move the shield over this turn, buffs their captain, and kills the Widow's Gift. But what this means is it will be harder for them to play into our Nebula. Ooh. So hopefully they don't have too many cards. They are likely to play 2 cards this turn to win Raft. It is played to 16, so that's not a good spot for us to be in. If they aren't able to play 2 cards, there they are. Well, here we are. Yeah, Negasonic, super obnoxious card in this mode. We are going to move Vision over here. It's not going to matter because they just need to win 1 lane in order to win at this point. You don't lose cubes or tokens or whatever these are called even if you lose the game, so there's no real reason to retreat.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
So that I do appreciate. Wow, hey, rude, stop that.
Doom rules all.
Unfortunate, but here we are. Hopping into game 3 here. Monster Island, alright. We're going to play the Mirage early rather than the White Widow. It's less power, sure, but it gives us a better card from their hand, and we know now that based on the Wolverine and the Hulkbuster, they're pretty much just running Destroy. That is the deck. So we're gonna see if we can mess that up a little bit. Nice. Wow, Hulkbuster. Who could have seen that coming? Nice. So that's nice because we know they're probably trying to nuke the Wolverine, right? Why are you buffing it up if you're just going to ignore it? That card specifically, you want to be destroying and bouncing around. So we're just going to slap a Rocketing Groot there. We are not going to win up front. That's interesting one. Okay, I guess. We're going to put the Vision over here. That's just to hopefully win the lane. We're going to move him out eventually because we want to Doc Doom, but that 4 cubes is real nice. The Vision is cool because obviously it's 5/5. We're pretty low. We've made it far enough to play him. So now we can just bounce him around to whatever the 4 cube location is. Here's to hoping it's middle. Let's go. So that's rough for a lot of reasons for this guy because that specifically. And Destroy tends to want to play a lot of cards. Unless it's just one big card like that. In which case, bamboozled, we win anyway. We are back over in Monster Island now. I'm going to move that back over. We are going to play the Nebula here on the off chance that she stays. That would be super cool. That just gives us more power in middle. Hopefully hitting She-Hulk so we take it from death. But that is a little bit of luck. If we do win 2 of these locations, we'll win right here. Or if we win Monster Island. There is a snap mechanic. It just gives this 4 cube location plus 1 cubes. Yeah, see that sucks. It's not what we wanted. That is really good for us. Perfect. So we won 4 cubes here. That puts us at 16. So we won this match. Nice. So the way this works is you pay scrolls in order to enter. When you collect rewards, you can see since we won the game, we got ours back, plus however many cubes we won by. I've seen this up at 20 before. The max would technically be 21 that you can get. If you are at 15 out of 16, then you win all locations. That's not true. The max would be 22 if you snap and win all locations. But it is 16 wins. The tiebreaker is higher. So if we both hit 16, it is whoever has more wins the game. You get however many of these cubes, quote unquote, that you win, but only the winner gets their scroll back. Hopping into game 4. That's unfortunate. Vision is a very strong card. As I showed last game, you can just move him to whatever lane you need him to. That's 8 power on top of anything you're trying to play. I always assume it's an Arshan deck if I see Quinjet. It's not. Honestly, normally it isn't. That's just the assumption I work with half the time. That's kind of funny. Alright, so this guy does play first, so we're just going to ignore Sokovia. He plays Mirage. He does not play Mirage. Either way, our Mirage was not winning the location. Since we played second, the Rocket and Groot would not have popped. This is random, so it doesn't have to be Great Portal. I lost my bet. That's fine. So next turn, everything will have to be played into Avengers Compound. We're kind of throwing it this turn in the hopes of winning the other lanes instead. That's tough. Yeah, so we are winning both other lanes. The only place they can play is into Avengers Compound. That puts us in a really good spot because this is probably not going to be in the same place twice, I say, hopefully.
Clear for takeoff.
Right? Yeah, buddy. Alright. Yeah, we are going to get rid of that collector real quick because that card is only causing us misery. We are going to lose middle here. That's fine. We won the other 2 locations. And we are turning off the collector. Oh, you monster. I can't believe you've done this. Alright, well, that's unfortunate because we're not hitting anything we needed to hit. That was gonna kind of catch us up a little bit there. So that's really bad. Yeah, so if they win Great Portal at this point, they have won the game. So we just are going to play our biggest card in hand. We are going to snap because we're pretty far behind. If we lose Great Portal, we've lost anyway because we can't win Avengers Compound. So yeah, we're gonna hope for the best. Good.
Believe in heroes.
Unfortunate, but here we are. Yeah, and if Sanctum goes into middle, that's it for us. So we're just hoping it goes to Sokovia. Yeah, that checks out. So we can't play what 23 power there. So we could do 10, 11. 17, that's probably the best we can do. So at this point, probably not worth it. We're gonna play out like that, and this will give us at least 2 more cubes. Since we know we've lost, this is more about just like, how can we maximize our cube output, rather than actually have a chance of winning. Wow, that sucks. So we only got 1 cube out of that, but here we are. Hopping into our 5th and final game. You do get, I think it's like a dozen scrolls per just like starting this mode, which is pretty neat. You get more scrolls every time you rank up. There are a handful of ranks. You will get 500 of these tokens and 2 scrolls for rank ups, which is pretty neat. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll play the Sable in the middle here. That's 1 less power, but that's way more obnoxious. Especially because it lets our Nebula just cook. So, a Guardians of the Galaxy deck. Not something I had considered, but seeing as your opponent pretty much always plays for this lane, not actually that bad of an idea. Give this guy props for that. I did not think of that, but that does work pretty nicely, I think. Wow, hey, rude. We are hoping so we really want to play Vision on 5, so that stinks. But if they play a card, they have to play one into middle, so we can slap our Rocket there and guarantee a hit. Since our Nebula's over here and she grows by herself, we're going to put our Sunspot on the other side. We're also going to snap here. It's just 1 more. Not really that big of a deal in the long run, but I don't think there's a very high chance we're losing that, so may as well take the extra cube while we know we're have a good chance for it. Shang, that's a I have nothing to play, I have to put something on the field right there, because otherwise you save it for the Nebula. Yeah. Vision middle. So the nice part is you can move that around 12, so we know exactly how much power we need in order to keep on winning middle. Never mind, we just won. It doesn't matter. But yeah, overall, super cool mode. I think it brings out a lot of very interesting decks, decks that otherwise you maybe wouldn't play. I'm probably gonna make a Guardians one in my free time, because that is actually a really good idea. But yeah, let me know if you have any cool decks you've been using. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.